Hi, JD here from the Institute of Wow. I just thought I'd leave this reasonably short Facebook Live for anyone who owns a business who might be interested in hanging around an environment where one single good idea can make a significant difference to your business. I happen to have a private coaching program for business owners. Generally speaking, the sort of businesses that we deal with are going to be a few $100,000 up to 10 million. We tend to deal with that sort of business. I used to provide marketing advice to the 7-Elevens and the News Limiteds, the Rupert Murdochs and the McDonald's and KFCs and Blockbuster Videos when video stores were around. But these days I tend to concentrate on helping businesses that are doing a few $100,000 through to probably 10, 11, 12 million. And I just thought I'd sort of share with you a couple of examples of hanging around with the right people, being involved in environments where the creativity is based on logic and science, not just for the sake of creativity. We've got my wife and myself have a whole bunch of millennial children. We've got 6. And I keep on encouraging them to hang around, creative people, because at the end of the day, they're normally the people who have a positive attitude, and they're normally the people who come up with business-winning ideas. And I'm not saying for a moment that if you're an accountant or a lawyer, that you won't have the odd creative idea, but generally speaking, you tend to be more left-brain, and you keep people like myself in tow. Instead of you bring them down from the ceiling and go, no, that idea is good, but let's have a look at the downside of it. I want to show you a couple of ideas that are game changers, and one of them is very recent. It happens to be a client of ours who owns a pizza business, and I've said to them that if they really want to grab a share of the home delivery business, they might like to just flip the model on its head, and instead of the pizza delivery guy having his cap turned backwards and just a dirty t-shirt on and then ringing the doorbell, how about we have a white glove, black tie delivery service for your pizzas, which means that you can always keep your price, okay? Because the pizza business, of course, is very competitive. A bit like the jewellery shops these days. You'll never see a jewellery shop like Angus & Coot or Prouds ever charging full price, because the morons that they are have decided to have a sale every day of the week. So you can never walk past a Westfield shopping centre and see a jewellery shop with anything but 50% off in the window, which takes their brand from the penthouse to the shithouse without taking the elevator. You want to retain margin, and the way to retain margin is to make sure that you always value add, but you don't price discount, at least not too often. And I'll show you this. This is, I think, a game changer idea for a pizza delivery business. They're going to be launching a black tie, white glove delivery service, and I'll just flip the camera around and I'll show you the atmospheric that we've put together for this. Second. And you can see it on your screen there. Can you imagine when that guy rolls up in your door with the pizza? Is there any chance at all that you will ever think about price? No, because it's a premium pizza. You'll notice that the actual box that we've produced is pretty classy, pretty upmarket. Let me do a close-up of that for you. Can you imagine if you got your pizzas in that box? Can you imagine ever expecting a price discount? Well, no. And this guy rings the doorbell. I'm telling you that this will be such an incredible game changer that people will be ordering pizzas from this company just to take a selfie at the front door. And I want to show you another game changer that happened some time back, and this one was actually with a business in Sydney that was a tall ships business. I'll flip the camera around. Okay, so I don't know what happens when you flip the camera. I know the vocal, the actual audio goes up and goes stupid. And I'll have to talk to Facebook about that. I'll ring up Mark Zuckerberg after this. So apologies that when I do flip the camera, there's a little bit of distortion in the sound. What I want to tell you about is a business in Sydney that was a tall ships business. And I'm just looking at my computer screen here so I can flip it around and I'll show you exactly what they were. Okay. This is what they were. They were a tall ship business. They actually took seniors mainly out on Sydney Harbour and bored the living crap out of them for about 2 or 3 hours. They stopped off at a little island called Goat Island, which is in the middle of Sydney Harbour, and then the seniors would get out with their walking frames and have a look at the convict village and have a little Devonshire tea, hop back on the boat and then arrive back to the Rocks or Circular Quay. Some of them were still alive, would you believe? I think they sort of basically the company that was running this was doing their best to bore them shitless, but as it turned out, a few of them still came back to the Rocks alive. I thought it was the most boring thing I've ever seen, and the owner of the business invited us to be involved, and he said to me, well, can you tell me, smart Alec, what we should be doing? And I said, yeah, well, let me have a shot at this. I said, at the moment, you've got the Captain Cook Old World, boats. He had 2 of them, and he'd spent quite a few $1 million in renovating these things. but he was running at about 50% occupancy. And I said, well, you're only gearing up for one market at the moment, and it is the seniors market, which means you're only going to get 2 tickets. Why don't you broaden the funnel and attract families? And he said, well, how am I going to do that? I said, have you ever heard of Johnny Depp? And he said, yeah. I said, have you ever heard of Pirates of the Caribbean? He said, yeah. I said, good, we're going to turn your tall ships, boring that they are, into Attack of the Pirates on Sydney Harbour. And he went, what? I said, yes. And so what we'll do is we'll go out and look for a stage show that might be out there somewhere in Sydney that perhaps might have pirates. And you wouldn't believe it, God was watching, because there was a show in Mossman in the little amateur theatre group that was the pirate show, but they didn't have a location to put their pirate show on long term. So we said to them, how would you like to put your Attack of the Pirates show on our boats, and we'll change the entire theme of these boring ships. Let me just get back again for you. That's what they look like, into a pirate show. And I'll show you exactly what happened, is that we went from what you can see on the screen there at the moment to Attack of the Pirates on Sydney Harbour. And this took the business, by the way, within 12 months from about 10 million turnover to just on 15 million turnover. So for the private coaching program that they paid me, which was a few $1,000s a month, got a pretty good return on investment. And I'll show you what happened is that when we developed the website for them, we also developed a video. Let me just play the video for you. This is it. It's coming up, promise me. Okay, so there you go. Can you see the difference between one that was wildly theatrical and well themed versus the other one, which was, appealing to seniors? What happened is that the reason for the explosion in revenue was not only the theme, it was very Disney-fied in terms of the adventure side of it, but also because we were getting an average of 4 tickets. It was a family, it was mum and dad and the family. And what we did is we went to the Sunday papers and offered them gazillions of dollars worth of children's tickets giveaways at the beginning of the launch of this, of course, which cost the pirate ship company, or the tall ship company, virtually nothing, because the fact is that 2 children could not get on board without an adult. So therefore, when the paper came out on the Sunday and said you got free tickets to the Attack of the Pirates on Sydney Harbour, it was meaningless to any family, to any child that is, without coming with mum and dad. So therefore the whole lure was to let the kids in for free, but mum and dad would be paying the standard rate, $48 a ticket, whatever it might be. There was a pirate show on every time the boat went out, and instead of just going out once a day with old people, it was going out many times a day. And when it stopped off at Goat Island was no longer called Goat Island. We produced a sign which was called Skull Island. And so therefore everybody stopped off on Skull Island, and you got to actually look at the old convict jails that were there, and that is the case. That we didn't have to build them. I mean, in the middle of Sydney Harbour, there is an island called Goat Island that has, have jail rooms and so forth, and so from where the convicts used to go, so therefore we just renamed the island Skull Island, and so all the advertising was, it's Attack of the Pirates on Sydney Harbour, bring the whole family, and in the middle of the cruise around Sydney Harbour, you'll be stopping off at Skull Island, hi me hearties, all that sort of stuff. Can you imagine what that did to that? Well, I'll tell you what it did. It went from 10 to 15 million, and they paid me a few $1,000s a month for the marketing consultancy. So look, I just wanted to sort of say to you that just as I keep on telling my Gen Y kids, I don't think they're listening to me, that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, or show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Then if you're a business owner and you're finding that, where do I get these ideas from? Where the hell can I get these ideas from to change the course of my business? Then you're looking at potentially the answer to your problem, he says very boastfully. And you might like to see more of this stuff, where even if you decide not to hang around with us, you can actually just pinch it at my webinar. Okay, so if you'd like to go on, you can watch it right now. It's not one of those webinars where you actually have to register and then we annoy you with 4,000 emails. You can go to wowmysales.com. Okay, so there's no AU, just go to wowmysales.com. And you can see these sorts of case studies. I'm not sure whether these 2 are on there, but you'll see lots and lots of case studies of what I call wow factor direct response marketing. And a lot of it definitely has theatre attached to it. So therefore you can actually pinch those ideas and run away with them. It's called wowmysales.com. I'll leave it at that, and if you'd like to go to wowmysales.com, you can watch the webinar, and you can see that if you do hang around the right people, there's a very good chance that you might come up with a game changer. I always call the first call, I always name the first call I have with my new clients the wheels on luggage call, because there's a good chance that they're going to get an idea from me or from my environment that's as simple as the wheels on luggage. We put man on the moon in '69. We only put wheels on luggage 20 years later in 1989, so I don't know what we were smoking for 20 years. But it was an airline pilot who was sick of dragging his luggage around the airports, and he decided one day to go home to his garage and put wheels on his luggage. He didn't have to be a pilot too much longer, because you can imagine that changed the entire luggage industry, because it was a very simple idea. It was just wheels on luggage. And I find that a lot of the time when new clients come onto our coaching program, the benefit they get instantly is that they will get a wheels on luggage sort of idea, the likes of the pirate ship or the likes of the white glove pizza delivery service, from that one call. Incidentally, if you're looking for private coaching and you've got a business where your sales has flatlined, then you can book a call with one of our people to talk about that. If you just want to go to bookawowcall.com. I don't want to give you too many URLs here to play with your head, but if you're interested in having us put together a marketing plan for you and help you on 12 months of the year, then you might like to go to bookawowcall.com, and you can speak to me or one of my people, and we'll show you how we can actually provide you with private coaching. The private coaching program we have is a few $1,000s a month, but you can see just by the two ideas I've showcased here to you, the people that are on that program tend to get like extraordinary knock your socks off service and value. But in the meantime, if you'd like to have a look at more of this, just go to wowmysales.com, and you can see it's around about a 60-minute webinar. If you get halfway through and you're bored shitless, well, just leave. I don't think that'll be the case. We have an 83% retention at the very end of this webinar, so I think that goes to show you that it's got a lot of content, or valuable content. We get the stats, of course, from people looking at the webinar. It's a pre-recorded one. That's why you can watch it right now. There's no waiting. And we have an 83% retention rate right through to the end of the hour. So I think that says it all. So if you'd like to see more of this stuff that you can use for your business, you go to wowmysales.com. Thanks, guys. See you next time.